All right, guys. Well, listen, let's introduce you to our Round 11 matchup. We're going to be looking at a battle of the Tims. On the left-hand side of your screen, this is Tim from Wisconsin, coming home and from the home of Borderlandia. And on the right-hand side of your screen, this is going to be another Tim, but a Tim you might be a little more familiar with. This is Tim. This is one of the minds behind McClunky Gaming. You see there on his shirt. He is the owner of all that camera gear. He hauls around his wife Claire producing their stream just a few tables away. What are you grinning about over here?
Big. He's just so
he is a huge human. He is a big dude.
In like Titanic, really a bastion of this community.
100%.
The first, if not one of the first people who were traveling to all the Northeast PQs to stream them. Big part of the streaming community.
Yes. He is. It's been super fun to get to know him, and he and Claire are awesome. I've had some wonderful conversations with Claire trying to pick their brains about the stuff that they're doing and how they do it, what they do. I'm loving her new overlays. She's such a talented graphical designer. I'm envious of the work that she does on their streams.
Amazing. All right, so I think this is Rando Mando, right?
I actually don't know. Is he? That must be. I
gotta imagine this is Rando Mando. So well known for being a Palp Yellow player, content creator who makes exclusively Palp Yellow content.
Outstanding.
And then Titanic is on Han Green. Very same list that Jay was just playing. Tim and the McClunky guys work with Alex and my team, and as well as Jay, all to kind of work on this Han Green, and Sonny from Team Secret. We're all kind of work together on Han Green behind the scenes. That's a community of teams that we're not really secretive. We kind of just collaborate and work together on things. Rando Mando, Han, a Palp Yellow player, playing Poggle, and Tim doing his thing, coming out with the Falcon.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
Do you want the player audio back? You want to leave it off?
I personally like it off.
Okay. I'm happy to leave it off if you would rather.
But the thing is, I start to listen to them, and then I'm not speaking. Do you want me to speak more? I'd say this. If you want me to shut up, you should put it back down.
I'll be honest. I personally am enjoying the commentary. I don't get to interject much, but I'm okay with that because I'm enjoying it. So I was telling somebody yesterday I would really love it if I had the opportunities to just kind of sit back and produce and let other people commentate.
Gotcha.
I don't want to do that to you today. I want to contribute, but I am enjoying it so far.
I'll fire it off. So these guys both resupplied, it looks like. Rando Mando with a foil P-38. That looks hyperfoil.
That's a hyperfoil. That's pretty.
Looks great. And he's building his little engine with Poggle, and what that does is it allows Palpatine to use his leader effect to sacrifice basically meaningless units to deal damage and draw cards, get to his bombs. Tim with the flashy promo
fancy Han.
Foil Han is going to go on the ship, and I think he's going to go base here.
I don't
see any value in.
I think I would go base. Yeah.
Rando Mando already has plenty of stuff to sacrifice, so if he's going to go for it. He's going to try and
clear the lane.
One of the great strategies for Han against Palpatine rather is to clear the board so they can't stop drawing. So they can stop drawing cards. But because of the Poggle engine right here, he's not stopping that anytime soon. One thing that Han does do is it allows Tim to not take any damage back on that Falcon because of Han Pilot's on attack ability, or when played ability, I guess, auto attack and not take damage back. So that's 3 damage that the Falcon would otherwise have. Now sitting on only 2. It's a long way from dying. Oh, he's flipping Han to space, people. He's not Leia. He can't float around in space. All right, and for the 4th time today, we've seen Han get tapped on deploy.
Oh, was that a no good to me dead?
That was a no good to me dead.
Sorry, I'm trying to get the mic levels correct.
Do your thing.
They are still telling me I am a little higher than you, so I'm working on that.
I will try and use my teacher voice.
You're fine. I'm trying to turn mine down because I am inherently louder.
So a great play that Tim makes, it often happens when you lose your Han attack to a no good to me dead, is just use those 3 resources to put the blaster on there, and when he untaps the following turn, he's a 6/6. These guys are going to 6 resources, so Tim will not be able to play a 7-drop. I mentioned this last round with Jay, but one of the ideal things that you would like to try and do when you get bricked on your Han attack is to have the big Falcon as your 1 6-drop play. You might remember from the erstwhile days of Han Yellow, these guys would play Zori Bliss to come out of the row for 5 and be,
yeah.
like an otherwise like really tough unit to kill. The 4/7 body on Zori Bliss, really undervalued.
One of those, well, he's thinking about it.
Yeah, Rando Mando, he needs to get to the Palp flip, right?
Okay.
Like
he's not going to use Palpatine. He's just going to shove the battle droid out there.
Yeah, that's his move. He wants to move into the late game. He wants to play bombs. I don't know what's in his deck, but I got to imagine it's like Cad Banes. It's Devastators. Let's see. He's got Barrage, he's got Syndicate Lackeys, and he's got Eager Escort Fighter. So all of those are kind of rough for Tim. Each one of those is going to kill something.
Okay, going with the Syndicate Lackeys.
Yeah, and what I like here about that is the Eager Escort Fighter can go and kill the Falcon when it combines with a Palp ping, but then Palp won't be able to steal that Falcon because it'll be dead. So that's the benefit there. And then you kind of have to name Syndicate Lackeys with Kira, otherwise the Syndicate Lackeys come kill Kira for free and not die back. So that's what Rando Mando's doing. He's going to put the damage there. It looks like he forgot to Poggle.
Well, he started. Oh, because he didn't play.
Because
he played the unit.
Yeah, he didn't put the battle droid out, which is what he would sack to finish off the Falcon. But he forgot.
There,
see,
he's doing it. He's trying.
Tim's letting him take it back, but Tim already attacked.
Yeah. Now, I was going to say, I figured he didn't sack the droid earlier because he wanted to create one with Poggle and sack that one later on.
Right, and that was the play, and he just missed it. Tim, being a gracious gentleman, let him take it back.
Yep.
Yes, Juan, me and Maddie are actually human brothers. We have the same parents.
And the blaster gets confiscated before Palpatine's turn is completed.
Yeah, and that's fine. I think like this is going to be a long game, and that confiscate, could be better used in a late game Chewbacca, but. I guess Palp doesn't want to fall that far behind. And when you draw cards and you have a card draw engine, then you probably don't mind firing off an early confiscate to save 2 damage.
Apologies, chat. I'm realizing that I did not update the standings at the end of round 10, the bar at the bottom, so I'm going to work on that in the background here for give me just a few minutes.
All right, so Tim gets his attack off, so he is able to go up to 8 resources this turn. Yeah, I agree. It was nice to let him get that take back. I might have fought that in the top cut.
Double U-wing.
Double U-wing. He's going to strip a U-wing. I mean, you kind of have to.
Yep.
But Tim's smirk should be a meme. Should be a Star Wars Unlimited meme from here on out.
All right, chat.
Someone screen cap that to me and DM me on Discord, please.
That's right. The gauntlet has been thrown. Let's make it happen, chat.
My parents could be aliens. I'm not 100% sure.
Speaking of the U-wing, there it comes.
There it comes. Let's see what it gets. Sorry, someone just asked me my Starbucks order. So, brown sugar cortado.
Oh, you're gonna tell the whole world your Starbucks order.
I used to be a Misto guy. Shout out to I don't know. That story bricked. Emma Stone drinks Mistos. All right, let's see what's in this U-wing. Looking for Big Han probably. Yeah,
yep, there he is.
The move with a lot of these decks is Big Han. Against blue control, you're generally looking for, as Alex Blandon calls, a Chewie and a Tui. You want Chewbacca and some 2-drop, so you can get Chewbacca in there surviving things like Super Laser Blast and removal. Now, the only thing where things get scary is this part of the game where now Palp can flip, and you have to somehow keep your damage off of your unit so Palp doesn't steal something that's absolutely busted. Okay, so Palp's just going to steal Kira, which if I'm Tim, I'm thinking that's a win. I get to keep my Big Han, and I think that might be because Rando Mando's holding a barrage. Tim has to decide which Han he wants to keep. If he attacks with Big Han first into the Kira or face, so he's going to go face. That means that Palp should probably barrage Leader Han here to stop the 4 damage coming. What Tim's going to do with the rest of his resources, I'm not sure. But, oh, no, he's just going to attack and kill Han with the Palp trigger. So 4 damage. The Han already had 1 damage.
He had 1 damage on him from earlier.
Yep,
yes.
4 damage from the Palpatine attack.
And then 1 more from the ping.
And then 1 more from the ping. And then gets to draw a card. And that P-38 floating around in space is also going to let him ping something for 2 if he ever decides to trigger that effect. So Palp close to stabilizing here. And, again, does have an overwhelming barrage. Should have no problem clearing this big Han. But what... All right, so Tim goes for Poe here and decides to spread out.
He's going to leave it. Yep.
He's in a tough spot because this is almost like a distraction because Kira kills Poe for free. The P-38 can kill that X-Wing.
Yeah.
So now he's got his tech. That's what he was looking to do, is get a tech out. Now, Rando Mando's at lethal. This is a move that Alex and all the Han Green players know, which is get your opponent to spend their attacks killing something other than tech. Use your last 4 for tech.
Okay.
Surprise strike in the row. Does 9. Rando Mando's in check. Does he see it?
In other words, Tim basically wants to claim here, and then his first action, he just surprise strikes
out of the row. Yeah, but the only problem is Rando Mando hasn't spent any resources. He still has overwhelming barrage in hand. Presumably, that's not a card I expect him to resource. So being able to clear the big Han means that lethal attack won't happen. This is where action, you might have heard the term action churning, where you want to take as many actions as you can to get your opponent to commit to resources so you can make the most optimal play. In this situation, Palpatine has so many actions, so many units, that it can take attacks, it can use trigger abilities to make Tim commit to the board with his resources. If not, the player ahead, the player with the bigger board, they just take initiative and they're happy with their opponent skipping their turn. That's what a control deck wants.
Right.
All right, I'm going to go check. I see Rebel Resource walking around, so I'm assuming his Sabine Yellow match is over.
After an 18 minutes, that's a long match for him.
Oh, maybe he just went to the bathroom.
Oh, I don't know. Could be. Sounds like somebody sent you that's the screen cap you were looking for.
Oh, did they? Nice.
Yeah.
I see some alerts. Oh, yeah, thanks, Chetty.
So we're going to kill the X-Wing.
Oh, and Mark.
Ping tech. We're going to use the OB to clear Han.
Yep.
And then play an SLT.
So leaving tech on the board is pretty spooky. With Tim at as many resources as he's at, he's going to be at 9. He can actually play Big Han out of the row to kill the Palp.
Yep.
He can play a U-Wing. So let's see if we can get a glimpse. I'm tilting my head like it's going to help me see Tim's resources.
Yeah, I'm leaning in to kind of – we're catching glimpses of the tops of them. I've had people tell me –
wait till you see this Tim meme.
I can't wait for this.
Good.
That is great.
Oh, my God.
Oh, we're totally going to have fun with that one.
So good.
I've had people tell me, you know what, Raptor, you should put cameras under the table so that we can see the resources when they're face down. And I'm kind of like, guys, this isn't poker. I use the term on the button, but I use it lovingly. It's a nod, right? But come on.
All right, we got Judge Promo Foil
Enfys. Look at this.
Not so. Again, so that's coming out of the row for 9. Like I said, could play the 7 drops out of the row here once we get to 9 resources. The unfortunate part here is there's not anything really good to bounce.
No.
I certainly think that he would have rather Han killed Palp. Because now, we're in the point of the game where, a Maul is going to eat this for free. Vader is going to help finish this unit off. And not die back. Yeah, so Vader can hit into the Enfys here, and what Palp can do is he can just send in the Bazine, and then whatever Vader pulls, ping to finish off the Enfys.
Right. That's the first Vader I've seen the entire weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we're seeing Randomando play two things here, and I would imagine that's going to be the strategy. 5 damage into Emphas with Vader, 1 damage from Bazine, and then sacrifice the ISB agent on the Palp attack to finish Emphas and draw a card.
So Vader grabs a couple of friends here, Poggle and random ISB dude.
Yep, ISB dude is just Palp fodder here.
Yep, as he ambushes into the Infus.
And this is when it's going to be very hard for Tim to stabilize here, still having to do 9 damage. We're still in game 1, so he won't have things like traditionally people aren't playing home 1 in their main deck to like really claw out these grindy matchups.
Yeah. The Palp Ping finishes off Enfys. Tim already claimed. I've had initiative on the wrong side of the board for a while. My apologies.
But he's going to 10 resources, so a big Han plus a fast Falcon really turn this game around potentially. I don't know how many cards are in Randomando's hand, but you know, he's got the Poggle engine back online, so he's just going to be able to turn every single card he plays into
another card
plus draw card.
Yeah.
And then one of the tricks with Han Green is you almost never skip resourcing.
Tim does not skip it. He's up to 10 now, and he looks like he's got 3 in his hand down there in the bottom right.
I don't think Tim should scoop this turn if he has gas.
He's so close. He's under 10.
He's under 10, but he's really got to rebuild in space here. Big Falcon, small Falcon would be great.
That's not the face of a man who knows what his next play is.
No, that is the opposite of the charm meme. Yeah, ISB agent, our old friend, actually, I played against an Asajj Tarkentown yesterday, who the first action they took was to ping my mercenary gunship and then Tarkentown it with ISB agent. Yeah, I was like, oh, remember the good times.
Yeah, you got to know ISB agent really well back when you were on Django all those months.
Yeah, I've probably played ISB agent 100 times in tournaments. You know, really looking for.
Speaking of,
for a deck. So tech here. Yeah, I mean, if your only play is, so someone asked, should he scoop? If your only play is tech when Vader like eats the tech for free, or Palp just sacks the Poggle here.
Yeah, Palp's just going to take care of it.
You might as well just go to game 2. I really think the only thing Tim had was if he found another big Han. Because now he's at 6 resources.
Going to waylaying
a Vader. That's never what you want to do, since you're just opening Vader to bring out even more guys.
Yeah, he's just going to bring out more stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I think in the essence of time, this is when you scoop. But you know, I will say this: he's only at 5 life, so
yeah,
just finding that big Han. All he has to do is find a big Han
and get it to stick.
Well, it's going to take out the Palp, and
that's actually a good point. That'll help
even
a lot.
Even little Pilot Han now kills Palp.
That's a good point, actually. He's got a couple of ambush units that could clean this mess up. Well, not now.
All right, let's see. All right, so he does have Fast Falcon. Ooh, traitorous.
Oof. I think now maybe you just.
Yeah, he's going to see what his draw step leads to. You know, he probably has a main deck confiscate. All right, I see my brother walking around.
He looks done.
Done?
Well, I mean, he just looks like he's done. That's not somebody who's getting up and going for a drink.
Yeah, we're in round 11, right?
Yes, sir.
He won.
Outstanding.
And he beat the guy. Yeah, he just won.
Outstanding.
Sick.
Yeah, Tim just scooping here.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to see game 2. Because it's a grinding matchup, I expect we'll probably see the same kind of cards we saw. Well, we saw some of the cards out of Jay's list, like a salvage seems good here if Tim's got it. Home 1 seems good here if he's got it. Extra confiscates now that you saw that traitorous. One of the things that's like interesting in these late rounds before deck lists are exchanged is winning without showing your opponent too much information.
That's true.
And if Rando Mando could have won without Traitorous, that might mean that Tim doesn't bring in extra confiscates or possibly even sides out a confiscate. Now he's not going to do that.
See, this is the kind of thing that I've never played deep enough into an event this large to even have a issue considering. But it's interesting to hear you say that because it's the strategy is obviously something you have to consider of how much do I want people to know about what I have in here before the moment that they're handed a page that says it all.
And in card gaming, we call that leveled thinking. And, like, what level are you going to play at? At level 0, you just play your cards out.
Right.
Like, hey, check out my it's 4 resources.
Let's go.
I played something that costs 4.
Yeah.
At level 1, you start to think, what could my opponent have?
Right.
And then at level 2, you think, well, what does my opponent think
that I have?
Right. And that's when you start saying, like, okay, well, I'm up huge here. I'm going to win no matter what. Do I really need to show him this Traitorous?
Right. Do I really need to reveal all this information?
Yeah. And, of course, like, there's part of late games in a tournament. Your deck might be known. That's one of the benefits of teams. I might say, like, I get to say to Alex this morning, hey, I know from watching these guys play next to me that they're playing Bazine, that they're doing this thing.
Right.
You need to watch out for that if you play them in day 2.
Yep.
If you're not on a team or you don't have a community, you don't have that.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why I really love the KTOD community, because there's so much sharing among the 1,600 people. Like, we've over 100 people in the Discord that are participating in this event.
The event today.
At least, yeah. And we're a very sharing and open community.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of collaboration.
I've really enjoyed just the deck list chats and everything that have been there because I've learned a lot. Like, all those little deck threads are just full of information and people trying to help each other and collaborate.
I learn a lot, too. And I learn a lot from people who are like, I'm testing this. And, even the Vader Yellow thread, people are like, oh, well, we're testing this. I'm like, all right, well, I'm doing this. And then we compare notes and we make changes, and it's really beneficial. All right, we're seeing some openers here.
Yep, sideboarding complete. Game 2 inbound. Just a quick refresh in case you're joining late. There's your matchup, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so it looks like Tim has Slow Falcon. I think he just resourced a Salvage. He's got all these, like, promo versions of cards, so I'm not recognizing them as easily.
All right, Tim's on the button here as we start game 2.
Yeah, he's going to play New Falcon. Prestige version.
Well, presuming he gets to keep it.
He does, because he kept 2 ships. Well, he's not going to be able to keep the Falcon, I would presume. Oh, is he actually taking the blue?
Thinking about it.
He pointed at the blue leader. So that's one of the things I did talk to Alex about, like, oh, these guys are playing Bazine main deck, so, like, you got to be ready to keep 2 3-drops.
Okay.
So he discards blue leader. That means to me that he has an answer to this Falcon.
Well, the Eager E, right, that we've seen him play before, right, the little E-wing might be his answer.
Yeah, is that in his hand?
That is the question. I saw an overwhelming barrage, a no good to me dead, and a Traitorous.
I mean, he's got a Traitorous.
Yeah.
No, I see resupply.
Oh, resupply Traitorous.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So resupply Traitorous could be spooky here.
It's possible he wants him to build that Falcon up and then steal it.
For sure. And that comes into what we were just talking about. Did Tim bring in extra confiscates because he saw the Traitorous?
Yeah.
And if Tim didn't see that Traitorous, this one might pay off even more. My IRL brother just won his match.
There you go.
Just shouted him out.
Sweet.
What seems scummy? I missed it.
I'm not sure. It's possible. Chat's basically saying maybe somebody is watching. They're behind. Maybe they're seeing the previous match where they're. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know. No way to tell.
I don't think anyone cares that much.
I don't think it was all that bad. I think a lot of it was misunderstood.
No, but last night, like, you could go home at the, everyone's got an Airbnb. Let's watch the matches back. Let's see what we can learn. I don't think that's scummy.
Yeah.
See, Raptor, I like you so much. I'm going to let your ads play. I'm not going to hit skip on my ads I'm watching on my phone.
Aw, thank you.
All right, so we got ISB agent pinging the Phoenix Squadron A-Wing, and that A-Wing is going to come in for 3. So with that resource spent, Traitorous is off the board for this turn. Might be waiting for something juicier. Cycling that ISB agent to draw a card and kill a 2-health guy. All right, now the bait has been taken.
Yeah, it seems that way.
He's going to hit for 6. Now, Tim doesn't only have Confiscate to deal with this. He could also Waylay. Since that's not Chewbacca pilot, Tim can bounce back to his hand.
True.
This is a turn where, like, if Tim had resupply, he puts a card down, resupplies, goes up to 7 permanently, flips like that. That's when that resupply is really, really huge, when you spend 2 resources on 4.
There's a whole mountain of math behind playing this particular Han leader that I have never stopped to really invest in and understand the resourcing and the sequencing of it and how it all comes together.
The resupply stuff with Han Green is really insane.
Yeah. I think probably Alex is the first one I've ever saw play that deck.
Yeah.
And he clearly spent enough time kind of noodling out how it was all supposed to work.
Yeah, and we've all reaped the benefits of it.
It seems that way.
I trained on this deck for PQs with Alex, and like I said, we work with McClunky on this deck quite a bit. All right, so there's that Traitorous. Boom. Man, I love the way Tim plays cards, man. He just lays it out.
Well,
so all that stuff we just talked about came to fruition.
Confiscate?
He had the Confiscate. And again, would Tim have brought in the Confiscates if he didn't see that Traitorous game 1? I'm not sure. The world may never know.
May not, but it certainly paid dividends right there.
There's no larger blowout in these matches than your opponent taps out for Traitorous and you immediately kill it, especially for only 1 resource.
Yeah.
Now, Blaster from Han is probably going to be the only play. I think Tim has Han Emphas in his hand, so I don't think he has anything else for 3. But he could put a second Blaster on Han if he has it.
Han literally having lethal damage in either lane here. He needs 1 action in either arena.
Yep.
Doesn't matter which.
That's what we call checkmate.
Pretty much.
Yep. Each arena is lethal, and your opponent has no board.
And Tim on the left there, scooping it up, knows that is over.
Yeah, Seth, we need to turn that into a GIF now. I just love how Tim, he like holds it up and he just lets it fall. And he was...
he just, boop.
Rando Mando didn't even have possession
he didn't even have
of
time
the Falcon
to take it away.
yet. Yeah, he's like, no.
He's like, no. Take your shenanigans out of here, my friend.
What do we say to the god of Traitorous? Not today.
Not today.
So Chrono won. Frank won. Yoda Killer won. Mickey won. Derek Schwartz Music won. Creasy won.
Derek came by yesterday. I had him on stream in Denver, round 6. He was playing a local from Denver, playing on Cad Green, and he came up and he goes, I got to watch that match back. That was a really good match, and your stuff is just so good. I was like, well, thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, it is. I mean, your stuff does. Look, I'm here for a reason, C-Raptor.
Oh, I appreciate that. Well, that was a lot quicker game 2 than game 1 was.
Yeah, a lot quicker, and they shuffled out quick. Didn't look like anyone made any changes to sideboarding.
I think they've made the changes they're going to make. So here's a question. You have a lot more experience and knowledge, and you've probably played far more games than I have of this and many others. The question has come up before. I've talked with Chad about it. The notion of, obviously, 3-game match, you very frequently sideboard after game 1. Are there circumstances under which you would go back and edit the sideboarding decisions you made after game 2?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just thinking about the Traitorous thing. Like, what if Rando Mando had never showed the Traitorous, and then Tim sees the Traitorous in game 2, but he had cut out his Confiscate, or maybe he didn't bring in any extras.
Okay, now he's got to go grab
extras.
Them. Okay.
Yeah. There's also cards that are better on when you go first than when you go second. So when I'm going second game 2, I might want a different turn 1 configuration than when I'm on the play.
Or at least the possibility of it, depending on how you draw.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so we see the opening Bazine, and this time Tim has 2 ships again, and he hasn't put a card down. That is one. So again, this is another benefit of knowing play versus draw here. Rando Mando Bazines before Tim puts a card down. If I were Rando Mando, I would have passed. Wait for Han to put the card down, and then take their 3. That's the sauce. Now, of course, Tim has a Green Squadron A-Wing, and he could just do that, which he does. But you do take the chance of taking the more important card. Rando Mando is not as afraid of a Phoenix Squadron A-Wing as he is of a Millennium Falcon of a blue leader.
Indeed.
So the pass would benefit him there as well. Other than he would lose initiative, but in a long game like this, I don't think he minds as much.
Ye old ISB agent, ladies and gentlemen.
So we're going to see this ISB agent play. He's doing this in lieu of playing a P38, in lieu of resupplying. He's going to opt to draw the card instead and resupply at a later turn. That is one of the... Is that Frozen in Carbonite? I think Random Mander just drew Frozen in Carbonite.
It's possible.
I don't recognize that card, people. What is it?
Yes, I'm almost positive that's what that is. I think I can see the block. Yep, I'm pretty confident. That middle card, that's the second one from the right there, pretty sure that's what that is. We did see that played yesterday.
Did you?
I did. We did see a Frozen. I forget the matchup, but I remember seeing that card thinking, wow, that's a new one. I mean, I have it in here, but I haven't seen it in a while.
I heard Tada last round lost to the card, the bounty that plays the card you kill out of the graveyard.
Is that unrefusable offer?
Yeah, on a home one.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's how Tada lost last round. All right, so this is the thing I'm talking about. Tim resupplied, so he gets the 6 resources to Palp's 4, Random Mando's 4. But did he keep something that costs 6? Ray wasn't on unrefusable that played against him. It was Cad that played it. Cad Tarkentown.
All right.
All right, so Tim does have resources to spend. He's going to play Akira. Yep, Frozen Carbonite. Look at the pull by your boy.
There it is.
Even I know unplayable coasters when I see them.
I mean, you say unplayable.
I mean, clearly it is being played.
It is, but I guess my thing is, we talk about cards like Confiscate.
Right.
The impact they have.
That's the thing.
But it is possible to overload your opponent with so many bad options, bad things that they want to deal with, that the Confiscates become more difficult to play or less effectual.
No doubt. The Frozen Carbonites clear the way for the Traitorous. But, I don't know.
I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. I'm not saying it's a great card. My point is simply it is another option in the deck like this that is very clearly about stalling to get to where he wants to be.
I'm just trolling a little, but... one thing, though, is that Tim has elected to do that. He may not have, I know he's going for big swings, but he could play the Kira before Han and clear the way by calling No Good to Me Dead.
Yeah, that's a good point. The No Good is definitely impactful here, but I don't feel like it's catastrophic for Tim. Yeah, he hasn't pushed as much early damage as I'm sure he would like, but he's not in a bad position.
Shout out to Gandork. Kira called Syndicate Lackey again. I think we missed that. I think that was a given considering the hand.
Okay.
But I guess now we're going to see Frozen and Carbonite might be his primary strategy, right? He tapped down Han, so he never got the swing. And now, is he going to freeze him in Carbonite permanently? That'd be very thematic.
I mean, I was going to say, just like in the movie.
Just like in my favorite movie. I actually get to say that and mean it.
Nice.
Just like in my favorite movie, The Empire Strikes Back.
Just like in the movie. Start with an ISB. Show you the resupply. Ping Kira.
So still has those 4 resources up. We see a big Falcon. Out of the row. Oh, it's non-leader? Yeah, then I truly don't know.
Okay, then unfortunate.
Look, I said it was an unplayable coaster. I recognize the picture. That's all you're getting out of me, guys.
Doesn't mean I know what it does. But we are going to see it come into play here.
Doesn't mean I'm reading it. No, thanks for the shout-out. Thanks for letting me know what it does. There it is. Non-leader unit. You can't even freeze Han Solo.
I will say, it does feel odd to me that you can freeze vehicles. I almost wish it had said non-vehicle.
Yeah, I agree, but it's more of a balance thing.
Oh, I get it.
They do a really, really great job of being thematic.
Concur.
And making it feel like Star Wars, but once in a while, for balance, you just have to break the rules a little bit.
I agree.
And honestly, you could freeze a ship in Carbonite. It just wouldn't be, you'd have to do it in a giant hangar.
It's the same reason we're going to see blasters on Purgles in the ground arena or in space someday, right?
I know. I was talking about that with Force Choke. Someone tried to Force Choke my ship, and I was like, well, you can't do that. It's ground only, I think. And they said, no, it's just non-vehicle.
It's non-vehicle.
And I was like, oh, well, Purgles.
Yeah, exactly.
So, maybe.
Yep.
Minox.
Space whales with blasters, ladies and gentlemen. Film at 11.
Are we getting Minox?
That's a good question. They haven't spoiled any.
There's an awful lot of moisture in here.
Ooh. Chat's it's getting spicy. Now, Tim finally able. I mean, Tim's building a board here. He was able to attack with Han this round.
No, but he's at 7.
Is this what? Has he got a home 1? No, we're going.
Oh,
U-wing.
he's got U-wing.
He's just going to go wide as possible.
I mean, he's just pushing, right? Like
I don't blame
Palpatine, Randomando has no board. He can do Chewie and a Tui here. He can do Big Han here. He can even just play Emphas for no effect. The one thing is, I think he should probably spread out more and not give Palpatine a big bomb to steal.
Bunch of mid-range kind of weenie little guys, maybe. Just
I think like Poe plus Tech
Mm-hmm.
could be really good.
Yeah.
I think Poe and a Falcon could be really good. You might see, so, are we going 2-2-3?
It looks like he might. That's exactly what it looks like.
And the Falcon, fast Falcon. I can tell by the way Tim stood that up that it was going to be a fast Falcon. Yeah, this is just super wide. Now you don't care what Palpatine steals.
You almost don't because they're just not that hard to kill.
So great strategy here by Tim. And because why? Okay, he's hitting for 3. Oh, and he has the other confiscate, or maybe the confiscate was last round, but yeah, the traitorous was last round.
Oh, he took care of the frozen.
Yeah, he confiscated the frozen and carbonite. So Chewie and a Tui, right? Yeah, well, even better when you can go 2-2-3 against Palp, because really it doesn't like this P-38 can kill one thing, but what's scarier for Titanic is that the P-38 can put a damage on anything on 8 and let Palp steal it. So it's really, really smart to have Tim in this board state. And now whatever P-38 pings, Tim can attack with, and he's only got to do 14. And he's got, what has he got, 11, 15, 20 possible damage already?
Flip Palp and steal Kira is where he's headed. He's thinking. He's debating. He gets his options right now if he just goes straight to flip are Kira or the Falcon. And he's going Kira.
He's going to Kira, so that means he attacks with Han. Because Han is the only thing in trouble of dying that's like of real consequence.
Mm-hmm.
P-38 can kill one of 2 ships, but not the big 5 attack.
Not the big
ship.
hit. I mean, he'd be smart to trade into Fast Falcon here.
Yeah, so what he would trade with the Fast Falcon and then put a damage on Phoenix Squadron, or maybe take the shield off of L3.
Yeah, and then try to ping it out later with Palpatine.
Yeah, but he's just too far behind. So, yep, he smartly kills the Falcon, and we'll see what his strategy is here. So that's fine, but all that's going to lead Tim to do is immediately
attack with the A-Wing, 100%. Yeah, I mean, Tim's they've been playing this game all with Palpatine around the whole time. As soon as he puts a damage on the A-Wing, the very next move is swinging with the A-Wing because you know it's going to get exploded. Tim seems to have another plan at this moment, though.
He might be trying to think about what so he might be worried about like a change of heart or something. He might not care about the 3 damage from the A-Wing.
He wants to get the big hit in one way or another.
So what's interesting here, right, is like Palp could kill Han, he could kill A-Wing, he could kill L3, but he can't kill L3 and Phoenix Squadron A-Wing with this attack. So if Tim has a surprise strike or a blaster, he would actually want Randomando to kill the Phoenix Squadron A-Wing so he could win the game with the blaster. Oh, I guess he would be 1 short, but he's still way ahead. All right, what can Randomando play? He's got 8 resources.
He's got a mountain of resources, but he's only got 2 health. I mean, if he's waiting on a reinforcement walk or something, he's waited a little too long, it feels like.
Yeah, I don't know that there's an out in the game for 8 that could get him there.
I don't think there is.
Even
Vader's
having like stolen the Millennium Falcon earlier in the turn somehow and barraged off of it isn't really enough. But you need an AoE effect like Barrage to be able to clear enough of the board to stop this onslaught.
One of the things that I keep seeing Rando do is he almost, it seems like he waits until his opponent has claimed to start playing.
And this
things.
this is game if he doesn't have an answer.
Feels like it.
Oh, actually, he still has the traitorous, so he actually does have the answer. Oh, he's not going to use the Traitorous, though. Yeah, I think Randomando is just clinging here.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of, it feels like a wish and a hope, right? Like he's just not going to get there. But it's not going to stop him from trying. There comes the Royal Guard into the ground arena. And there it is, but he doesn't have it. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Well played. Way to claw back, Tim Titanic, and well played by Randomando.
Nicely done. Great match from both players. I admit I am a Palpatine fan, but I have never figured this deck out. So there's a part of me the small part of me that's glad to see it doing this well, making it this far in the event, because I don't think I could ever pilot it to get it here.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time on Palpatine Yellow to the point where in set 3 I was going like a full Underworld McClunky package to try and like solve the Sabine matchup.
Okay.
You know, it's a good deck, but it does struggle against aggro.
Awesome.